Hello everyone, and welcome to the back garden yard. In today's update, we're going back to the garden. We've had a lot of rain and we've had hot weather. Well, rain and hot weather makes a growth surge happen, and that's happened in the garden. So it's only been 8 days since I did a video similar to this, and we're going to compare a lot of the things and see how they have grown in this hot weather and with this rain. So let's go. So the first thing is we'll review this lettuce, and of course now it has completely bolted, and these leaves are still very edible, but I got to get them off and plant something else here. I may replant some more lettuce, but anyway, that's happened. But now I'm going to show you what 8 days ago these cucumbers looked like. And the cucumber plants now are really coming out. What we need is some hot weather, and they're going to jump right up to this trellis, and they'll catch the trellis and they'll grow all the way up to the top. Now you can see what they look like today, and they have just grown. Maybe in 8 days they've grown maybe a foot and a half. And the tip I want to show you on cucumbers today are these tendrils. Now you'll notice how they're attaching to the trellis, and the trellis is up about a foot off the ground, and now they're running the trellis and they're attaching to it. But the trick is, when you see one like this, you can help it by just literally placing it on the trellis like that and help it to catch it. And that way then, if we have a windstorm with all these storms we're having, it's not as likely to blow it off of the trellis. So let's see if we can find another one that might fit. It may stay, may not, it doesn't matter. You can go ahead and just try it. Here's one. We're gonna put it over here, and there you go, it grabbed the trellis very nicely. And so we're going to get them to run up the trellis. Now another thing you can do is, when you see them like this, these are really close together. So I would like this one to go further over this way. So I'm going to kind of pull it over this way and then wrap it around the trellis. So let's see how that looks. So now I've got it, instead of going straight up, it's coming over this way. So that's what you can do to help your cucumbers go as you want them to. Now here's another one, and once again I've got it now going almost straight up the trellis, so that's going to help separate it from this one. And these are just growing so nicely now. I had a hard time getting them going. A lot of them looked about like this last week, and now you can see they're just taking off. So that's the first thing I wanted to update. Now I planted a couple of extra tomato plants here where I had some onions and some garlic, and they're looking okay. And then this poor pepper plant just never seems to make it, and that's what happens. Sometimes things go wrong down with the roots, because this one is the same age, and this is one of the Asian pepper plants, and this is the same age, and this whole row here is the same age. So I don't know what's wrong with that first one, but I'm going to replace it. Then we've got the carrots. The carrots are coming up and looking nice, and we'll just have to leave them for a while. I've got to get out here and weed. We've had so much rain, I have not been able to weed a lot of this. Then we've got the beets, and the beets are actually starting to make beets down there. And of course, at any point in time, I can pick a lot of these leaves and go ahead and eat some of the beets. Then I've got a new thing to show you, and that was, these are the eggplants, the Asian eggplants, and I transplanted these, and they're looking nice. They never knew they got transplanted. I like to grow them out this big before I transplant them, because of the little black flea beetles that get on them and just eat all the little holes in the leaves. And they will come, but I will spray them with neem oil to try to keep the bugs out of here. Then we've got more lettuce. Some of this here has bolted, and then we've got all this getting ready to bolt, but it's really doing nice. More of this lettuce here is getting ready to bolt. Got more lettuce than I can eat right now. Then of course this is the red romaine. That's probably my favorite. Looks like it's starting to bolt, so I'm going to have to plant some more lettuce. Now we're going to come over and look at the tomatoes. These are the Better Boys, and I did a whole video on how I tie these up so that they will actually shade the lower part, and you won't need as much shade cloth, if any. So you can see here where I've tied this one completely up, and these leaves here are making shade for these big tomatoes down here, and you can see just how many tomatoes they're putting on now. So I'm only about a week from fertilizing them again, because now they have set tomatoes. I mean, I have got tomatoes coming, and that's the whole idea you want when you wait to fertilize your tomatoes. But at this point they have set a whole nice crop, and they probably need a little more energy from some 10-10-10. So that's what's going on with the tomatoes. And we'll go back this way. Now these here are the early girls, and they're starting to set tomatoes right nice. And the same thing, I'm waiting to fertilize them. And then here are the yellow pear tomatoes, and they make them in clusters. And so far I haven't seen too many of these, but they're making a few of the yellow pear tomatoes, and they will really take off soon when all these start setting fruit. The asparagus, these are the ferns, and it's just about quit popping out. The asparagus season is about over here. Okay, let's go to the back garden. And here's my poor extra plants that I really didn't have room for. And as you can see, they're kind of suffering from the heat here. I water them every day, but I just planted too many this year. And here's a couple that I'm going to give away, and so I've got them in some larger pots. So hopefully they're going to do very nice for the people I'm giving them to. Now, if you compare, the Silver Queen corn is already now way up to my waist compared to how it looked just 8 days ago. These are my green beans, my bush green beans, and I had a lot of these came up, but I planted the different kind of seed, they're bush green beans, and they didn't come up. I got one plant up out of a whole 2 packs. So for whatever reason I had bad seeds, because I'm convinced that if I plant them all the same way on the same row, and I have this kind of success for this row, then there's something wrong with the seeds. There's nothing I did, I'm pretty sure. Then this is the Korean corn, and it got ammonium nitrate before all this rain, and it is just doing great. It's almost as big as the Silver Queen, and that is really, really nice. Okay, moving on. These are the butternut squash, and once again they're looking very nice. It's time for me to work those. I'm probably gonna have to pull this one out and let them run up this. They're gonna run like cucumbers up this trellis. There's more butternuts, and more butternuts. I'm seeing some insect damage here. You see, I sprayed them the other day with neem oil, so maybe that helped to slow the insects down. Now here we have the calabash squash, and what I have done is I have pinched out the end of the calabash squash. And you can see right here, whoops. And you can see right here where I pinched out the end. Well, now it's making a new end, and I'm gonna pinch that out because I don't want it growing any longer down that way. I want these sides to come out, and what that does is that tells the plant that, you know, it needs to go ahead and start setting some fruit. So here's a little calabash squash that's on this side runner. And so that's what I do, and I'll also pinch all the ones that are going in towards the corn and towards the butternut squash, because I just want the calabash squash to run out here. So that's what's going on with this part of it. And same thing here, I pinched the ends off of this one, and now they're coming out, and let's see if I can see any more little calabash coming on. Don't see any yet here, but they'll be coming. And I'll show you where I pinched the end out of this one. And that was right here. And it's trying to make another one also. I'll pinch that off again. So the answer is, when you get these calabash squash, if you want them to set more fruit, you want to go ahead and pinch these ends off, and that makes the side runners come out and makes more of the squash. And so I haven't seen a bunch of them coming, but they will be coming. I'm gonna have to go ahead and pinch this one. I did pinch that one. Need to go ahead and pinch this one because I want them to go out this way. Okay, now you can see how much the lima beans have grown all the way up almost to my chest now. These are the climbing lima beans, and since they are coming on up, they're coming out, they're spreading, and they're just running all over these fences. This one here is already head high, and so they are just doing great. These were some of the late ones where I had to replant, because you see they're starting to move. The hot weather and the vegetables are the best thing you can have. Okay, so we'll run on through here. I showed this before, the Perillo patch, and it's doing very nice. It's gonna need a little bit of fertilizer, I can see, because the leaves are kind of yellowing. Of course, they're in good shape. And then here is one of the Big Max pumpkins, and it's doing very well. This is its little brother, and it's still not doing that well, but I'll leave it here. And I have more of them over here. And so these are also Big Max pumpkins. I don't want too many of these because, once again, they'll take over the entire garden. Now over here is the taro patch, and I've weeded these really nicely here. I've still got to get over there and weed those, but the taro is coming out very nice. I'll have a great crop of taro again this year. And you can see from all this rain we had that I've got a huge crop of weeds coming out here. And now these here are my straight neck squash. And it's time for me to weed them and work them, and get more dirt and probably put some straw around these and mulch them. And they're going to be making, probably in a week or two, maybe the next update video, I'll have them. These are zucchini squash. These are more zucchini squash, and I can already see little squash buds on these now. Won't be long, I'll be picking squash. And uh-oh, here's a bug. So I've already got a squash bug on here, and that is not a good thing. And it's a dead squash bug, but anyway, I don't like seeing that. I just sprayed these 2 days ago, but I think the rain washed them off. I think I see another squash bug right here. So I'm already being invaded. with bugs, and I hadn't even picked any squash yet. That's why you want to really pay attention to your plants at this time of year. I like to spray them with neem oil, though that'll slow them down. Okay, and then here are more calabash squash, and here's one that needs the end pulled out because it's going to come into my regular squash, and I don't want that. So these are the later calabash squash that I showed in the last video. They're doing nice. And then here are the snow peas, and I've let these get too big. Need to come out here and pick these today, and they're still making snow peas, so I'll get another crop of these. And here is a second crop of okra that I have planted, and they're coming up pretty nicely here. Once again, I'll plant them in a double row so that hopefully I'll have enough to fill in both rows with it when it comes up. It never comes up completely. And then here are more peppers. These are the Asian peppers, and they are doing very nicely. And then I've got some banana peppers out there, and then I've got regular bell peppers and the giant peppers. And then these are more tomatoes here. These are better boys, and as you see, I've got them tied up, but I've got to retie this a little more. They're starting to grow on out. Then here's my original okra, and it's starting to make the middle leaves, which means it survived, and it won't be long before it'll take off and grow. And so the okra is doing fine. And I just wanted to give y'all this update today because once again the garden has grown so fast. It's just amazing this time of year how fast the garden will grow with the hot weather we've had. So if you enjoy content like this, please like and subscribe, because I'm going to update these again towards the end of May, which is only what, about 8 or 10 days, and we'll probably see some first results of maybe some squash and things like that coming in. So it's very exciting this time of year for us gardeners, and we will see you on the next video.